Well, hey everybody, I'm John Ritland, and here is a double feature of two horror movies that I saw on Netflix today, both released this year. Eerie and Thriller. One was a foreign movie, one was a typical slasher, and neither was an eerie movie, or a thriller, or an eerie thriller. They were both goddamn terrible. They both were terrible. I mean, and the reason I'm slamming them into one review is because I just wanted a chance to shred both these movies, while also saying that I think the cast did the best job they could. But this was nearly bottom of the barrel stuff. I've seen worse. Do not get me wrong. This is nowhere near the level of Nightmare Man or Satan's Little Helper or Children of the Living Dead, stuff like that, where I really consider those to be some of the worst horror movies ever, or Bug. No, these were just really typical, cliche, boring, especially in the case of Eerie. These were two really boring and really bad horror movies. So let's just jump right on into it with Eerie. And it was filmed in the Philippines, and it has to do with this counselor at this Catholic school for young girls where a whole bunch of creepy shit is going down. And by the way, there's going to be a bunch of spoilers in on this. I made in, just so you know, there's going to be spoilers. I'm pretty much going to spoil the entire thing. But with Eerie, you have this counselor that's trying to get through to all these girls. Well, a while ago, this one girl ended up hanging herself in a bathroom stall, in one of the bathroom stalls, and since then, a bunch of weird shit has been happening. They hear weird bumps in the night. Girls are freaked out by all this stuff. The nuns will not talk about, what led to the events of this girl hanging herself. And then it turns out that this girl just turned purely evil through bullying and has been trying to kill people off to basically make a friend. She wants to make a friend with a ghost because she didn't have any friends in, while she was alive. And this is told through flashbacks and this kind of stuff. And this counselor, who's pretty much the only, decent actress in the entire movie, and even then, the acting really isn't all that good because it's very atypical. There's a lot of jump scares. I mean, a lot of bullshit like bong, bong, they're just throwing the music out, the musical cues like that. They're not actually hitting a gong, but it's just it's like the ass end of a keyboard, like a keyboard, like in a really, stupid Casio keyboard. Just, it's all out of tune. It's just the worst kind of sound effects, and it's really badly paced. Like, oh, somebody, looks down while washing their hands in a sink. Then looks up, and then pans over, and then pans. Oh, wait, suddenly there's something there. It's just typical bottom-of-the-barrel stuff. And this is from the director of Birdshot, which I did see and actually wasn't all that bad, which that surprised me that this movie was as bad as it was. So Eerie was absolute shit, and in the end, you get this girl that apparently you can do a ghostly or demonic confession, and this counselor is talking to her in a Catholic confessional, and this ghost just spills the whole beans. It's like a Scooby-Doo villain or a Bond villain talking about all their stuff and everything, and what's going to happen, and what's going to happen to you, and who's going to attack her next. There's also this detective that's on the case and everything, and well, he tries to attack this counselor, and the idea is this ghost has basically been sending people into a rage and causing people to kill. This girl caused her dad to kill her mom shortly after, this girl died. And then she caused another guy, the groundskeeper, to kill somebody. And now she's trying to cause this detective to kill this counselor. But then it doesn't seem like the counselor dies, but then she does die because the movie can't, explain anything coherently. Nope, it just has to assume that we're all idiots and everything because it's obvious that this woman died and that she's just in limbo. And that's what happens. It's stupid. It's goddamn stupid. Do not watch Eerie. It's fucking terrible. And it actually could have been decent. If they had made this part of an anthology horror movie, it probably would have been a whole lot better. But nope, they couldn't even fucking do that. It was just really, really bad. And again, the jump scare cues, it was professionally shot, and that's about it. And again, the woman playing the counselor was really about the only reason that you could sit through this movie. But this was... if they had made this a 40-minute movie and put it with a few other horror movie shorts, this might have actually been tolerable. Because they had about that much material, but they stretched this motherfucker out for 100 minutes. Somehow. And a lot of that was people walking through hallways really, really slowly. And it was just, my God, this movie is terrible. I'm going to move on to Thriller, which is basically a slasher movie with an all-black cast, essentially. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you do this the right way, you can make this a funny comedy, you can make a dark comedy, this kind of stuff, and no, not pun intended there. You could actually have some comedic elements, have some good stuff with just a typical slasher story. Unfortunately, they do not do that thing, as it's like 4 years in the past, you have this boy that's got this stutter, and other kids are mean to him except for this one girl that's in there, and it's a group of friends put on these skull masks. They're going to scare and make fun of this kid and everything because he's different, because he has a stutter and all this. So their plan is to lure him into this house, have the nice girl lure him into the house, and then they scare him. Well, what he ends up doing is pushing this girl over the railing. She falls, she dies, and she was a twin sister of one of the girls that's also in the group. And he ends up going to jail because they're like, well, hey, even though we were clearly the ones that pushed him to do this, it's gonna be our fault. We'll just blame him, and he gets sent to jail. 4 years later, everybody is doing fine. Everybody's grown up and everything, and they're going to their homecoming dance. And this kid Chauncey is now out of juvie. I mean, because apparently, even if it's accidental murder, you're in juvie for a very short time. So he gets out, and everything seems to be going great with a lot of them. There's an underlying theme with all these kids or all these teenagers that they want to get out of Compton. That's what it is. It's LA downtown. It is Compton High School, or at least it says it's filmed in Compton High School. I actually don't know. But everybody, there's a star athlete, there's a bitchy girl, there's the girl with the heart of gold, the protagonist, there's the nerdy guy, there's the one, there's the one guy that wants to invite this one girl to homecoming, but she doesn't want to go with him. You're just a friend. And then there's another, guy, a rich kid that's trying to act tough when he really, isn't like he really isn't street wise. He just acts that way because he's ashamed of coming from a rich household, even though everybody in the movie would love to be where he is and come from said rich household. So you get this kid Chauncey that gets out of jail. Okay, everything seems to be going whatever. He's jacked, he's buff and everything. And he wants revenge, seemingly. As things go on, it becomes obvious that he is after every single one of them, or so it seems. And again, I'm getting into spoilers here, so sorry if you don't want this spoiled. So there are these three like guys that play these thugs. I mean, literally, they're like the most every character in this movie is barely one-dimensional. Everybody has certain scenes, guidelines, cliches that they play. Like these three guys that are picking on this one kind of nerdy guy in the group and everything. And then this guy Chauncey ends up killing one of them in this horribly done stunt attempt where this guy goes and takes a leak, and you have Chauncey or whoever it is climb over the wall, and they struggle to get over the wall, which is not easy. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do. They leave it in the goddamn movie where he doesn't struggle much, but it's noticeable, and you're like, holy crap, we did 20 takes, and that was the best one, was the first line that popped into my goddamn head. So we then get where this homecoming dance, it's a big thing. You got the bitchy girl and you got the girl with the heart of gold. I don't remember the characters' names. I'm sorry. Beyond Chauncey and beyond this one guy, Derek. It's not that any of the actors are bad. Nobody in Eerie or Thriller get any disrespect from me as far as what they did. They did everything they could with the very, very paper-thin scripts that they had. But the characters are so one-dimensional, so cliche, it did not fucking matter. And the gore scenes were absolutely terrible. That scene I talked about where the guy climbed over the wall, guts this guy, and the blood, I guess, looks semi-realistic, but just everybody is acting so bad. Like, oh, it's like I got cut. It's not very good acting at all. To be fair, they could be in their first or second movie, so you may grow. They may do some great things later on. This just wasn't a good start to their career, but you gotta start somewhere. So with this, everything goes on. Chauncey's back with his mother, who's a drunk, and you get to find that out later. There's one detective that's on the whole goddamn case. Apparently, there's only one goddamn cop employed in this movie at all times. So everybody starts getting these weird messages. It's like 40% of the budget, I think, went to the hand-drawn end credits and opening credits, which actually were pretty well done. And 40% of the budget went to the little text, like graphic things that they put on the on the screen for like one scene. There's one teacher in there that she looked cute, and at least she was there. That was pretty nice. She played probably the most fleshed out character, maybe besides the principal, who was an ex-military guy that just wanted his kids to do better. But again, everybody has about that much character to them. And we get a lot of death scenes and everything. We get all this stuff where like the kids in the group are being stalked and what the hell's going on and everything. And oh, it's a homecoming thing. No, we're not getting pig's blood or anything dumped on anybody. Nope, we're not getting any of that. We just get a whole bunch of lame deaths and lame chase scenes. Oh, and we get this subplot with this one a guy playing a rapper, where one of the girls wants to meet him and meets him outside of a studio, like a radio studio that he's recording an interview at, and lies about her age to get into bed with him. So apparently R. Kelly helped fund this goddamn thing. That was a bit uncomfortable and was a bit, it was bad. It was really, why did this happen? This did not need to happen. This was unnecessary. I mean, it wasn't comedic. It was kind of gross. Kind of great. I mean, even though I'm sure the rapper, the guy playing the rapper and the girl actually were closer to the same age and they just acted like there was an age difference. The implication, granted it's a horror movie, didn't really care for this stuff, but whatever, it was what it was. He gets dispatched. Everybody gets dispatched. Holy crap, what's actually going on with this? Well, it turns out that it's actually one of the group that's doing the killing and not Chauncey, except who killed the thugs in the alley? Who was killing everybody? Was it apparently this guy that loved the twin sister that got killed? Earlier in the movie. Apparently, he was like, you killed her. All of you killed her. This kind of stuff. And now he's going nuts. And then he's in a hospital after getting taken down and all that stuff. Well, he gets pushed into a car after Chauncey, saves the detective, seemingly weird. We just get all this bullshit scene, all these bullshit scenes. It makes absolutely no goddamn, it's stupid. It's fucking stupid. And they seem to imply that a sequel's going to happen. Who the fuck knows? Honestly, these plots are so paper thin. Really do not bother watching them. That's why I did a double feature here, because really, there wasn't anything you could do with this. So, anyway, folks, I'm going to end that right at both these movies get an F. There's polls maybe up there, or leave comments if you saw these movies. Honestly, both these movies are shit for a variety of reasons. Eerie was bad. Thriller was bad. Nobody in the cast, I don't have any disrespect for the cast. It's just the movies themselves were really, really bad. And horror movies are the biggest shovelware, genre of movies that there is. And it's been that way for a while. Maybe sci-fi movies in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Horror has been the biggest shovelware genre of all time. And these two are prime examples. So anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if there's other 2019 horror movies that you want me to watch in double feature or single feature. Let me know. Make sure they're from 2019, by the way, because I want to keep up on current stuff. Or suggest other stuff and I'll see what I can do. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retland. I'll see you soon.